Hey there, and welcome. Today, we are going to get laser focused on a super important, super common Spanish skill, ordering a coffee. And you know what? We're going to master it by breaking down just 3 essential verbs. These 3 verbs are going to take you all the way from just thinking about a coffee to actually sitting down and enjoying it. So let me ask you a question. Do you want to be able to walk into any Spanish-speaking cafe and just order your drink smoothly, without that little panic moment, that hesitation where you're searching for the right words? Yeah, of course you do. And that's exactly what we're going to tackle right now. And you know what the best part is? It is so much simpler than you think. You seriously don't need a massive vocabulary. All you need are these 3 key verbs that pretty much power the entire conversation. I promise. By the end of this, you are going to have them down cold. Okay, you ready? Let's dive in. All right, first things first. Before you can even order that coffee, you gotta have a plan to get to the cafe, right? Well, in Spanish, when we talk about our immediate plans, our go-to verb is ir, which literally means to go. Now, what's really cool is how Spanish handles the near future. It's called the futuro próximo, and it uses the super simple 3-part formula. It's always the verb ir, plus the word a, and then whatever verb you want in its original, unchanged form. That's the infinitive. It's basically the exact same idea as saying going to in English. So simple. So this is the recipe. You've got to remember this. It is always these 3 simple steps, every single time. 1, you take the verb ir and you conjugate it, to match who you're talking about. 2, you pop in the little preposition a. And 3, you just drop in the action verb, whatever it is you plan to do, like beber, to drink, or estudiar, to study. And here is our first big building block. Now, I'm not going to lie, ir is a totally irregular verb. That just means you got to memorize these forms. There's no getting around it. But look, we've got voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. This little table right here, this is going to be your best friend for making any kind of plan. Okay, so let's see how this works in real life. If you want to say, I am going to go to the cafe, it becomes voy a ir a la cafetería. See that formula? Voy is the conjugated ir, then you have a, then the infinitive ir. Perfect. Or what about your friends? Mis amigos van a estudiar. It's like a little plug-and-play system. You can use it for any plan you can think of. Okay, let's keep building. Imagine this. You've used IR, you've made your plan, and bam, you're at the cafe. So now what? Well, now you need to say what you want. And for that, we need our second superstar verb, querer. Now, querer is a little bit special. It's what we call a stem-changing verb, but a much cooler way to remember it is as a boot verb. And trust me, this is a fantastic visual trick to help you remember the rule. For most subjects, that E in the middle of the verb is going to change to an IE. And the cool part is if you draw a line around the forms that change, it looks like a boot. Check this out. You can literally see the boot shape on this table. The forms for I, you, he, she, and they, that's yo, du, él, and ellos, they all get that E change. Quiero, quieres, quiere, quieren. But look, the we and you all forms, nosotros and vosotros, they're outside the boot. They're left out in the cold. So they keep the original E. No change at all. It's a great little memory trick. And here's how you'll actually use it. To say what you want, it's super simple. Quiero un café solo. I want a black coffee. Easy. If you're talking about someone else, like another customer, el cliente quiere una mesa. The customer wants a table. And see that nosotros form? Nosotros queremos el menú. We're outside the boot, so no stem change. It just works. Okay, so you know what you want, but just walking up and saying I want can sometimes feel a little abrupt. How do you ask for things politely? How do you ask for permission? Well, this is where our third and final verb for today swoops in to save the day. Poder, which means to be able to, or simply can. And guess what? Poder is another boot verb. How cool is that? You already know the rule. This time, though, the change is from an O to a UE. But you can see the exact same pattern playing out. The forms puedo, puedes, puede, pueden are all inside the boot, so they get that change. And again, podemos and podes are outside, so they just stay the same. Once you know the pattern, you know the pattern. Seriously, this verb is your secret weapon for being polite and effective. Instead of just demanding something, you can ask, ¿Puedo ver la carta? Can I see the menu? So much nicer, right? Or if you didn't hear something, you can ask the waiter, ¿Puede repetir, por favor? Can you repeat, please? And of course, the big one, disculpe, ¿puedo tener la cuenta? Excuse me, can I have the bill? Absolutely essential phrases. All right, let's put it all together. We have our three power verbs: ir for making the plan, querer for saying what we want, and poder for asking politely. Now let's see how they actually work together in a real, natural conversation. This is the moment of truth.
Okay, so the waiter comes up. Buenos días, ¿qué quiere usted? Good morning, what would you like? And boom, right away you hear our second verb, querer, used in that polite usted form, quiere.
And your response? You hit it right back with the same verb. Hola, quiero un café con leche, por favor. Hello, I want a coffee with milk, please. It's simple, it's direct, it's perfect. You used quiero. Nailed it.
Then they follow up with a classic, muy bien, algo más? Very good, anything else? Pretty standard stuff.
And here is where you bring in your secret weapon, our third verb. Instead of just saying the bill, you level up with a polite request. Sí, puedo tener la cuenta también? Yes, can I have the bill as well? See how using puedo just makes that whole interaction so much smoother? And the waiter's response? Por supuesto, ahora mismo. Of course, right away. And there it is, a complete, successful, confident conversation using just the verbs we talked about. That's a win. Awesome. That was fantastic. Let's do a super quick recap just to make sure all of this sticks in your brain. So here it is, your new cafe toolkit. Remember, for making plans, it's that ERE plus infinitivo formula. To say what you want, you've got the boot verb querer. And to ask for things politely, you use the other boot verb poder. That's it. That's the whole shebang. Okay, now the spotlight is on you. Using that IRA structure we just learned, I want you to answer this question. What are you going to order? Go on, think about it. Say it out loud right now. The second you do that, you're already one huge step closer to absolutely nailing that cafe conversation. Thanks so much for joining me.